Hi everyone, welcome back to Odd Animal ABCs. Today we're on to letter N, which stands for numbat instead of newt. So numbats are also known as a banded anteater because, as the name suggests, they have these black bands or stripes of fur along their backs. And they also do eat bugs, not ants specifically, but termites. They're native to Australia and they use their long sticky tongues to pick up those termites for dinner. So grab your blank piece of paper and drawing utensil and we'll get started. Today I want you to turn your page long ways, so the long end facing you. Grab your marker and we'll start on the left-hand side of the page about halfway up because we want to leave space for his long tail. So from here, we're going to start with his eye. Just do a simple black dot over to the left here, and then we'll do a backward C shape to finish his eye. Next, I'm going to do the shape of his face. So as you can see in my drawing here, it's kind of like a really long pointed triangle. So I'm going to start right above his eye, take that line diagonally down, curve it under for his nose, and then up around where you'd assume his cheek is. So from here again, over his eye, I'm just going to draw a diagonal line out, curve, and then back up. Now I always like to give my animals personality, so I'm going to do another curve about halfway here to give him a little smile, because we'll also add his tongue in later, right? That's an important characteristic of numbats. They do have really big ears for the size of animal they are, so similar to yesterday's actually with the maned wolf, it's going to be that same kind of diamond shape. I'm going to draw up to a point and then curve it under. So this is the ear we see facing us, so I'm going to go ahead and do that same shape inside of it because we see the inside of his ear. And then the same shape back here, but we don't see the inside, right? I'm just gonna draw the rest of his head up to there. Next, for his nose, they have black noses. I'm just gonna do an oval at the bottom of that point that I drew and color it in. And then as well as the black bands on their backs, they do have a single black stripe that runs from their nose all the way past their eye here. So I just did some short little strokes. Maybe they vary in length. Gives the texture of fur. And then I'm going to take some just back behind his eye there as well. For the rest of his body, I'm going to start by his front ear here and take a curve down for his neck, up for his back, and then down for his tail. They do have a pretty fluffy tail, so we'll come back to that in just a moment here. I'm going to do his leg next, his hind leg. I'm just going to do a simple curve facing this direction, so starting right about halfway from his tail in towards his body. Simple curve. And then I'm going to do that check mark shape. I'm going to start here with a short line and then take it out a little bit longer. To finish his leg, I'm just going to draw another line parallel to this first one, take that out, and then we'll add his paw. So just those 3 curves. So there's his back leg. And then we'll do the front. I'm simply going to do that other check mark shape once more. This time we'll start with a short line here. It's right about underneath his neck. And then take that out down towards the left-hand side of my page. Our 3 curves for his paw. And then I'll draw that line parallel to that first one right back up. Before I get any further, I'm going to finish the rest of his body. I'm going to take this a little bit further too. So for his neck, just curve that to connect with his front leg. And then I did some fur on his belly. Instead of a straight line, I just did some diagonal lines all the way to his hind leg. I'm just going to do the suggestion of his other front and back legs. So single curve here and then take that line back up underneath his neck. And then if you want to do the same thing back here, we don't see all of his back leg, that curve and a straight line back up. Finally, we'll do his tail. So they are pretty furry. I'm just going to do some longer lines extending out towards the right side of my page. You can take some on the back side of it as well. And then we can't forget those black bands. Again, just some lines to create that texture of fur. I'm going to space them out maybe about a 1/2 inch or so. You can make them as thick or as thin as you want. There's his stripes. And if you want to add his tongue in, I did 2 curved lines coming down to a point here, and then I actually drew some bugs for him to eat as well. So if you want to add that tongue, I took it right from the end of his mouth here, just a curved line down to a point, and then back up. And if you want to draw a little line there as well, you can, to give it a groove in the middle. And then for the bugs, mine look more like ants. Maybe you just do a single dot for termites. Really simple, because they're really small compared to the Numbat, right? So there's your odd animal for today. Come back tomorrow and we're on to letter O.